Hey guys, thanks for checking out today's video. So today what we're going to talk about are some common issues that you see with the LLY Duramax engine. So the LLY basically ran from the year 2004 and a half, halfway in the year they switched over to this new LLY engine, all the way up until there are a few 2006s out there, believe it or not. So if you're anything like me, you've been doing a lot of research before buying a Duramax, trying to decide what generation to land on. This one here is actually a early 2004, so it's an LB7. I'm just basically going to use it for demonstration purposes. Honestly, the LLY had a lot fewer issues than the LB7. They're pretty reliable overall, and I really wouldn't have a problem with buying one. Really, the only big issue that you'd see with those is if you're towing very heavy, they had a tendency to overheat to where you might have to add a second electrical fan. But really, that was only if you were towing very heavy. If you don't really plan on towing that much or heavy, then that's really not going to be an issue for you. But obviously, as you know, if you start overheating your engine, you're looking at some major engine repair bills there, whether it be some head gaskets you're having to replace or just completely rebuild an engine. So really, that's the biggest issue that you've got to watch out for. There's one more that I've seen quite a bit, and I'm going to pop the hood for demonstration purposes on this. Please excuse the top piece here from missing. Auxbeam was kind enough to send us a light bar for our build there, so we got a cool video on that if you want to check that out. But basically, there in the back you can see the turbo. So on the LLY, one thing that you ran into is an issue with the inlet mouthpiece. That's not a huge issue, but something to be aware of. So basically what can happen is you can have decreased fuel mileage, overheating, or even poor turbo response. And basically this is a result of the inlet mouthpiece of the Garrett turbocharger having to fit into the smaller engine space in here. So basically with the inlet redesign on this, it caused restrictive and turbulent airflow, which takes a toll on the compressor there. So over time you're looking at, with the turbocharger on that engine, the engine just becoming less responsive, and that's going to result in decreased fuel mileage. Also, it may not matter to you guys, but the LB7, like I've got here, has no emissions equipment whatsoever, unless you're in California. Don't know why you'd be over there anyway. But basically, the LLY was the first year that had an EGR on it, which is exhaust gas recirculation. Basically, the exhaust gas would be reburned through the engine to try to make it cleaner, if you will. Over time, you can see issues with those sort of things, but there are plenty of guys out there that have run them for a long time and not seen any issues. But a lot of guys, that's one of the first modifications they do whenever they get that truck. They'll either put an EGR blocker plate in there or just get rid of the EGR altogether. So really, guys, outside of those, there's not just a ton of huge common issues to watch out for. So basically what I went over was the engine overheating whenever towing really big, the turbo inlet mouthpiece there, and then the EGR, if that even matters to you. Other than that, you're really not going to have any issues with these trucks. These weren't plagued with injector issues like the LB7. Basically, the LB7, you have to take off the valve covers to even reach the injectors. On the LLY, it was redesigned where they're above that, so it's a lot less labor-intensive job, and you don't really see many injector issues with those trucks, especially nowadays. The other thing that I might add to these trucks here, this did come with basically the first generation, to the Duramax anyway, Allison transmission, the Allison 1000 with the 5-speed. Yes, they are an absolutely solid and great transmission. Nothing wrong with them at all. But I will warn you guys, if you start tuning these trucks very hot at all, the transmission cannot handle it. So that's why a lot of times if you go out there and check out tunes such as PPEI, you're going to see they're going to ask you, is your transmission built or is it stock? And that is because these transmissions will not handle very much power for very long. But I mean, if you leave your truck bone stock and you aren't adding any sort of tuning or anything like that, I mean, you can do some work to the engine, obviously, intakes and things like that, and you're going to be just fine. They can handle a little bit, but you get up there very much, you're going to have to spend some major money to start looking at beefing up the transmission. Alright guys, that was just my short list of common issues that you see with the LLY Duramax diesel engine. I may have not hit them all, guys, and I realize that, and that's why I'm going to depend on some of you guys out there. So guys, please feel free to use the comment area down below as kind of an open forum to discuss issues that you may have with the LLY engine for those guys out there that are either looking to buy one or already own one and may have an issue with it. Like I say, these were just personal ones that I had seen doing research and looking to buy a Duramax myself, so I'm sure I didn't cover absolutely everything. Alright guys, I definitely appreciate you guys checking out the video. Stay tuned. We've been doing lots to this Duramax here. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, it is an LB7, but you can see we got some wheels on it. Hopeful to get some new tires soon. Nice headlights. We got some LEDs in there. We put a minor lift on it the other day, a nice 3-inch rough country lift, which I'm really liking so far, as well as the light bar that Auxbeam graciously sent to us. So stay tuned if you like that sort of content. We got plenty of it coming. And we've also got a 2014 Silverado High Country here that we've done quite a bit to as well. Alright guys, until the next video, take care.